Welcome back to Hot Topics TV / Brainflow TV. If you've never been here before, hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into the topic. Man, listen, this young Dolph situation, it just get more and more twisted, but we're going to get into it. All I'm going to say is this. Yo Gotti, this is my personal feelings, and I feel like Yo Gotti was a part of this, but Yo Gotti is so far removed from everything that's going on that in this situation, it's going to be hard for them to trace anything back to him. But never say never, because just like P. Diddy said never, I do what the fuck I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. Puffy thought he was the man until the feds came knocking. Now you see where he's at. Right? So, I don't know. I think look out for Yo Gotti sometime in the future, down the road maybe, having something to do with Young Dolph's death. You know they got a saying, and it says that the streets be talking. And when the streets talk, a lot of the times, the streets know what's going on. In this particular case, the streets been saying Yo Gotti got a hand in Young Dolph's death. So this is the information that came out because the trial has started now, and they got all the people in places that they need to be, which is behind bars and in the courtroom to face justice. And this is how the prosecutors are saying this what really happened. They talking about a feud, a rap beef that led to Young Dolph's murder. Justin Johnson is on trial for the murder of Young Dolph. Young Dolph's real name is Adolph Thornton Jr. And he was killed in November of 2021 at Makeda's Cookies in Memphis. If y'all remember, every time Young Dolph was in the city, every time he was in his part of town, he would slide by local businesses because he was just a brand by himself. So if he came to your cookie shop and then he was in there eating cookies and he put it on Instagram, it'll blow up. Because a lot of people will be like, oh damn, Young Dolph said the cookies good over here, so let's go try them cookies, see if they're really good. Damn, Young Dolph said the seafood good over here, the lobster, the crabs, the shrimps. Let's go try this and see if they're really good for real. So, it's like giving back to his community, just showing up. He wasn't afraid to be out in his community. Matter of fact, he was known as kind of a Robin Hood type of dude. Go get the money, bring it back to the hood, and sort people out. Pay for school, pay people's rent, pay the elder people who stuck in their home medical bills, pay their light bill, keep the lights on at the house for them, put groceries in the house, just taking care of the neighborhood. That was the kind of guy that he was. And I know it sounds cliche because a lot of people claim to do it. But Young Dolph, it's like a whole lot of people that came out and said that is what he did for a lot of people around the way. Anyways, about this beef that ended up taking Young Dolph's life. The prosecutor said on Monday in court that the man that is on trial for the murder of Young Dolph, he wanted to be the next big rapper in the city. So the trial began on Monday, September 23rd, 2024. Long overdue. Let's get to some justice. Justin Johnson is his name. Justin Johnson, by the way, is a rapper. Goes by the name of Straight Drop. If y'all remember, we covered the story on Straight Drop before. Straight Drop went on a run. Straight Drop even rapped about what he did. But we'll get to that later. He's facing charges including first-degree murder, unlawful carrying and possession of a firearm, and theft of property in the death of Young Dolph, whose real name was Adolph Thornton Jr. Let's get to how it all went down. So during the opening statement, now the prosecutor said that Cornelius Smith Jr., that's another one of them who's charged in the murder, he testifying. So he telling everything. He would testify against Straight Drop. See, this is what you call snitching right here. If me and you do a crime together and you get caught and you start telling on everybody, that is snitching. If a man come through and shoot up your block and kill a little kid on the block and you know who did it, but you and that man don't have no dealings, and you talk to the police and you let them get that man off the street, that's not snitching. That's you protecting your community and the elderly people and the children in it. So we got to a point in history where we even got the definition of snitching confused. This right here, because they did this crime together and somebody is deciding to tell on another person just to lower their own time in prison, that's called snitching. But I'm glad that he is snitching because the truth is coming out, right? So prosecutor said he, Cornelius Smith Jr., is also charged in the murder, but he's going to testify against Straight Drop. The defense said that Hernandez Govan, accused of ordering the hit against young Dolph, would also testify against Johnson, Straight Drop, who is supposed to be the hitman. So everybody is putting this on Straight Drop. During his opening statement, Deputy District Attorney Paul Hagerman said that young Dolph had been trying to make it on his own. And he was making it on his own, big time. And he was trying to help other artists under the label called Paper Route Entertainment, Paper Route Empire, which was young Dolph's label. The attorney said that Dolph had rejected those at other music labels, CMG, who had wanted him to sign as an artist to their label. Remember how Dolph used to brag all the time and say he independent and he truly independent and he the man in his city because his Paper Route Empire is doing it 100% on his own. But if you check labels like CMG, who is from his city, them people are not independent. They're hooked up with other groups, and there was beef behind that. I also remember in an interview where Dolph was like, how you want me to sign to your label when I'm a boss? I feel like I could do this on my own and build my own empire. This is where the record labels and the music business gets really dangerous. Because if they see you as competition, you either work with them so they could get some of your money and eat off some of your talent, or it come down to them having to get rid of you. So CMG is a collective music group, also known as Cocaine Music Group, according to Hagerman's statement in the courtroom. CMG, get this, CMG is Memphis rapper Yo Gotti's label, which features other acts like Moneybagg Yo, Black Youngster, and ESTG. Now, it's known Black Youngster done came out on videos and said all types of disparaging stuff about young Dolph. You know, it was never love over there. And it turns out what they're saying in the courtroom is that young Dolph did not want to sign with CMG. He wanted to do his own thing. He wanted to be the man of Memphis, the biggest rapper out of Memphis. And they weren't having it. So it looked like his murder was on some jealousy shit. So Hagerman now said that Govan would try to identify young rappers, because that's what Govan did. That was his job. He was like an A&R / talent scout kind of guy. So he would try to identify younger rappers to shop them to CMG. Rap for me. Let me see how you rap. Oh, you sound good. Let me take you over here to CMG, see if I could get you a deal. Oh, you don't sound good. You go tighten up your skill. That was his job. So the deputy DA now claims that Johnson, which is Straight Drop, and Smith, they were not well acquainted. They just knew each other through the rap scene. During his opening, Hagerman said that Dolph had a diss track out against CMG, which is Yo Gotti's label. And this is the prosecution, and claims that CMG had made threats also against Dolph. The deputy DA claims that Big Juke, which is Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke had actually heard those diss tracks and whatever else beef they had from before. Big Juke placed a $100,000 reward on Young Dolph's head. And the prosecution said that Johnson, which is Straight Drop, he had hope to gain some rap fame for carrying out the job. He was going to be the one to kill Young Dolph and get to that money, $100,000, however they was going to split it, and then get a big record contract. The city would know that he did it, but he wouldn't go to prison for it because he'll be shielded from it. Somehow, I don't know how he worked that out in his mind, but that's what they're saying in court, and that's what everybody else is working with as witnesses for the state. Now, Johnson, which is Straight Drop, his attorney, Luke Evans, said during his opening statement that Govan exploited Straight Drop. He took him to Alabama to meet the CMG reps. Then he left Johnson there when Johnson said that he wouldn't go your way. Like, whatever y'all talking on them contracts, it's not healthy for me. So I'm not signing the contract no more. So they left him there. He even claims that Govan threatened to tank Johnson, and that if he can't get a piece, no one can. Meaning, I know, pause, right? No homo. So Johnson, what Straight Drop's attorney is trying to say is CMG, which is Yo Gotti's label, Govan, that was the middleman, had said, if you don't sign with CMG, I'll make sure that you can't sign with nobody else. If I can't get a piece, nobody else could get a piece. See, I told y'all, man, it gets dangerous when you got talent and you try to get into this sea of water that's called the music industry and swim with these sharks, because ain't nothing but sharks in there. So a friend of Young Dolph also testified during the first day about the rivalry between CMG and Young Dolph's label, Paper Route Enterprise or Entertainment. And that friend said Dolph had been shot at in Charlotte and then shot at in California, both times by people who were connected to CMG. The same thing they told Straight Drop. If they can't get a piece, nobody can, is the same thing they were after Young Dolph for. You can't be out here independent making all this money. You gotta come split money with us. If we can't get a piece, nobody can. Now, Straight Drop, if you look on social media, he's released several songs. An Instagram page for Straight Drop shows more than 60,000 followers and 11 posts. The last one was posted in May of 2024. So he's still trying to get some rap fame off of what went down with Young Dolph. And please believe this, Young Dolph was making a lot of money. And when I say a lot of money, let's put it in perspective like this. The brother had over 365 days in a year. He had over 300 pieces of property when he passed away. We talking about houses, real estate. He was heavily invested in real estate. He was also heavily invested in other things. His children are good. His children's children will be good if all that money is set up properly and managed right? So he was getting to some serious money, and he wasn't the type to be out here just wasting his money either, like a lot of these rappers do. Flash a lot of cash in their videos, go to the club, buy out the bar, spend money on frivolous females, expensive jewelry, and then when you check them 4 or 5 years from now, they broke as hell, and they don't even have an apartment to live in, right? They don't own not even one house in the hood. And Dolph had nice properties and lots of them. So he was getting to a whole lot of money, and he was doing it independently. And it was causing a lot of jealousy in the city, and it was causing people to plot on taking his life, to include Straight Drop. But Straight Drop came about this way by way of the people who works for or are connected to Yo Gotti's label, CMG. His YouTube channel shows 19 videos. 7 of those videos dropped in April of 2024 while he was in jail waiting for trial in Young Dolph's murder. So he really in there thinking he's going to set up a platform to put these songs out there, let them get hot, and then by the time he get out, he'll have a buzz in the streets, and he'll go straight to the stage and start rapping about everything he did, and he'll be street certified on a big record contract and have a lot of rap fame. That's his perception of what's supposed to happen. In November of 2022, Johnson, whose name is Straight Drop, he had his phone, writing, and visitation privileges suspended after reportedly releasing a song on YouTube. The judge called it an inappropriate recording and ordered Johnson placed in administrative segregation, suspending his phone, his writing, and his visitation privileges. Prosecutor Paul Hagerman called it just a rap song. Young Dolph was fatally shot at Makeda's Cookies on Airways Boulevard on November 17th of 2021, and the police said at the time 2 men got out of a stolen Mercedes-Benz, fired shots into Makeda's homemade cookies where young Dolph was making a purchase. Police released photos that were taken from surveillance videos that captured the shooting, which they said led to the arrest. Under Tennessee law, Straight Drop faces the possibility of life in prison without the possibility of parole if he is found guilty. Here's the thing. He wasn't the only one that did it, though. So the others who are bargaining for less time. See, man, this is what I be telling people. Everybody is gangster, right? Everybody, when they got that chopper in their hand or they got that Glock with the switch in their hand, is gangster. Everybody is a killer. Everybody is tough. Everybody is 10 toes down in these streets, will never snitch. But as soon as we have watched enough first 48 videos to know what happens. Soon as they get in that room and they realize how small that room is, and them detectives start talking about you looking at the rest of your natural life in prison, son. And they start thinking, oh shit, I'm only 24. This man just said, I'm doing at least 60. So I'm going to come out at 84? Oh, hell no. Who I got to tell on to cut that in a quarter? Not even a half. I don't want 40. I'll do 20 because I'll still come out at 40. And I know niggas in the hood who's 40 who's busting. They doing everything hot and they living a good life. So I'm trying to come out early. And they start telling on each other. This whole street thing is a fantasy. 10 toes down, 1 in a million can do it. And do it thoroughly. My advice is, get up out the bullshit and go find yourself something constructive to do. Yes, there's a lot of money to be made, but there's a lot of money illegally that will go fast. It comes fast, it goes fast. At the end of the day, I hope real justice is served in Young Dolph's murder, because Young Dolph was one of those dudes that did put on for his city and did put a lot of people on, and he deserves justice. The funny thing about this is, in our community, and I say our meaning the black community, it's always a nobody that's killing a somebody, and that's what's sad. Somebody who is progressive, productive, getting stuff done, really building an empire, gets taken out by some jealous fool who has nothing going, just wishing for everything that the other person has. But they don't want to do the work. They know the blueprint, but they don't want to do the work. They just think like, if I knock him out the way, then I get to automatically step into that glory. It's one of the saddest things about us. May young Dolph's soul rest in peace. We will continue to follow the case to see who gets what. I believe the others have copped a deal, so they won't be getting life in prison without parole, but they'll be getting some years behind bars. If you ask me, they all should be getting life in prison without parole. On our next video, though, we'll talk about Yo Gotti's brother, who they said put the $100,000 hit out on Young Dolph's head, and what happened to him, and how karma spun the block so quickly. I'll catch y'all on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV / Brainflow TV. You already know. If the topic is hot, we're on it. I'm out. Peace.